friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo for 109? Day in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters. It is that time once again, my friends, to get into one of these true crime, horror, dark, deep, and mysterious what the is going on type of videos. And today, we going back to the man. The lazy man. Lazy Masquerade. Back to the lazy man, y'all. It has been too long since we last checked out one of his videos. And the title of it is True Crime Cases with Disturbing CCTV Evidence. Now, ain't no telling what the hell we about to see with this CCTV footage, y'all. Like, whatever it is, man, the lazy man is not gonna fail to just have us like, what the is going on? You know what I'm saying, man? And I'm just ready to get into it. But before we get into it, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you might need. Get what you need, please. We back to the lazy man. Once again. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go. The lazy.
Today's video is sponsored by Raycon.
Lazy, I forgot Lazy started off with his commercials. Y'all fuck with them Raycon, man. Look at Lazy, look at my boy Lazy, man. Y'all fuck with Lazy, man. Hold up. Let's go.
Reach your goals and get your pair today. In this digital age of romance, where connections are made and tossed aside with a single swipe, apps like Tinder have gone from new and exciting to completely accepted and ordinary. But as I've said in the past, when it comes to strangers on the internet, can you ever truly know who you're interacting with, laughing with, and planning to meet up with? Social, adventurous, and full of life, 21-year-old Grace Mullane was a young Briton with a bright future. Having just graduated from the University of Lincoln with a bachelor's degree in advertising and marketing, Grace decided that before beginning her career, she wanted to take a gap year and see as much of the world as possible. She set off on her year-long adventure on October 26, 2018, travelling from London's Heathrow Airport to Lima, Peru. She spent 6 weeks exploring South America, the first leg of her journey. On November 20th, she embarked on the second, a trip around Oceania. After exploring the North Island of New Zealand, she made her way to Auckland on November 30th, where both her trip and life were cruelly cut short.
Damn.
After checking into the base backpackers hostel on Queen Street, Grace socialised with other travellers before settling into her bunk and browsing Tinder. After swiping through several profiles, she matched with a man who sparked her curiosity. Jesse Kempson, a 26-year-old from Wellington. After some flirtatious back and forth, the two agreed to meet on the following day, on Saturday, December 1st, one day before Grace's 22nd birthday. On December 2nd, Grace's nearest and dearest sent her text messages and voicemails, wishing her a happy birthday and asking how her trip was going. She didn't reply to any of them. That was unusual. Grace was an avid social media user and stayed in daily contact with her family, sending them photos and videos, and generally keeping them updated about her whereabouts and plans. Her parents attempted to call her on both her primary and backup mobile phones, both immediately went to voicemail. After several days of radio silence, they began to worry that something had happened to their daughter, and on December 5th, they contacted the authorities in Auckland and reported her missing.
Man, I'm just sitting back wondering right now, did this dude intend that's his intentions from the very beginning to kill her? You know what I'm saying, man? And not that it really matters that much, but I'm just saying, was he just searching for someone online? I'm gonna trick this lady, this woman, into thinking that I'm really trying to talk to her, get to know her and all that, but I'm really just trying to meet up with her so I can kill her. Or did this happen out of nowhere when they met up? Or you know what I'm saying, man? Because it's just so scary to think about that it's people out there, and it is people out there who really, they only intentions of being on Tinder and all these other different dating sites is to meet a woman so they can meet up with her and kill her. The world is a crazy place, y'all. It's a crazy place.
Her father, David, flew from London to New Zealand and sat with investigators as they held a press conference to raise awareness about Grace's vanishing. It was around this time that detectives turned their attention to the innumerable high-quality CCTV cameras that line the buildings of New Zealand. And amazingly, the authorities were able to track Grace's movements on the eve of her birthday, practically from beginning to end. December 1st. At 5:37 PM, Grace was seen leaving the base backpackers hostel and making her way from Queen Street to Sky City, where she had agreed to meet her Tinder date, Jessie Kempson. The pair greeted each other with a hug outside the entrance and made their way to Andy's, a bar and grill on the second floor, where they spent an hour and a half drinking. From Andy's, Grace and Jessie made their way to the Mexican Cafe, another bar and restaurant in Sky City.
It's just so crazy. This whole time, this lady have no idea that her clock, her life clock is literally ending, ticking down. It's getting to the point. She only got a couple of hours, maybe at the most, of still living, and she would never know it. And that's just crazy all the way around, for real, because for the most part, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really knows. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, we don't know when our clock is up, man. And we could have anywhere from 24 days to 24 hours left, or even longer. And I hope it's longer for me and my brothers and sisters, but y'all get what I'm saying, man. It's just crazy to see that smile on her face. And if somebody was just to tell her in a couple of hours from now, you'll be deceased, man.
After 70 minutes, they made their way to their third destination, the Bluestone Room, arriving at exactly 8:36 PM. When Jessie got up to use the bathroom, Grace sent her final text message to a close friend back in the UK. "I click with him so well." At one point, when Grace left the table, Jessie was filmed rifling through her bag. With things becoming increasingly intimate, the pair decided to go back to Jessie's hotel, where he lived full time. They arrived at the City Life Hotel at 9:40 PM, entered the elevator, and stepped out onto the third floor.
Man, I understand there's a lot of alcohol involved. I understand how, how we as adults get and stuff. But all I'm saying is, my brothers and sisters, especially my sisters out there, if you just meet a man for the first time in person and all that, just wait to take it back to the bedroom in private. Wait a little while. Get to know him a little more, man. Wait a little bit. Yeah, I hate she did this, man. But I understand it, though. I understand it. What I'm talking about is what they call them, one night stands, or in this case, we'll just call it a first night stand. This they first time meeting up, and they already going back to do the deed. You know what I'm saying? To do the loving. But I just wish she wouldn't did it, and man, strangers, man. At this point, this dude really is still a stranger to her. You know what I'm saying? She don't know him at all for real. It's her first time meeting him. I hate it though, man. Rest in peace, Grace. Let's go.
This is the lost footage of Grace Mullane, alive. On the morning of December 2nd, as friends and family were wishing Grace a happy 22nd birthday, Jesse Kempson was again caught on CCTV exiting room 308 alone. At just after 8 AM, he made his way into the Elliott Street warehouse and purchased a new suitcase. He then went to a separate store called the Countdown Metro and bought cleaning supplies before returning to his hotel room at 8:15. After placing the newly purchased items inside, he again made his way down to the lobby, caught a taxi driven by one Surinder Kumar, and went to Apex Car Hire to rent a red Toyota hatchback. Unbelievably, at 4 PM that same day, Jesse then made his way to another bar and met another woman for a Tinder date in Ponsonby. According to this woman, Jesse was very intense, quite calm though. This woman, who was a former journalist, casually mentioned a murder trial which she had once attended. This prompted Jesse to reply, "It's crazy how guys can make one wrong move and go to jail for the rest of their life."
This dude is literally like a fucking crazy motherfucker, man. He's starting to piss me off now because he is showing no remorse. Just the fact that he wake up in the morning after murdering this lady, he freaking going out during the day, going shopping for cleaning supplies. You know what I'm saying? Hide the body, clean up my murder supplies, and then got the audacity to go on another Tinder date that afternoon while this beautiful young woman body is left in his damn house or whatever. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, this dude, like, do these damn killers have the thought of I'm gonna get caught, or they really just don't care? Like, do that even flash in their minds? Shout out to this CCTV footage, man, because without it, we man, just shout out to the CCTV footage for capturing all this.
Feeling creeped out by his demeanour, she ended their date early and went home, leaving Jesse with plenty of time on his hands. He took this opportunity to return to the hotel and borrowed a carpet steam cleaner from the front desk, telling them that he had to remove a red wine stain. After spending an hour inside his room, he again returned to the lobby to borrow a luggage cart, which he brought back up and loaded with his newly purchased suitcase. He took this luggage out to his rented car, loaded it inside, and drove off.
Bro, if that luggage got her body in it, I'm done, man. Like, it's just so crazy to watch stuff like this, man. It never gets old, y'all. Like, we have seen stories like this. And that's why I said shout out to the goddamn CCTV footage, man, for just capturing all this. And that's why I just feel like, and I'm not going to go on a long rant, but long story short, story long, that's why I do appreciate, because when we outside our house, y'all, I'll say at least 90% of the time we are being recorded. You know what I'm saying, man? But it's cases like this where it lets you know that all that recording that goes on in the world is necessary, because it can help solve them a freaking murderer doing some craziness like this.
At 6:55 AM on December 3rd, Jesse made his way to a hardware store and bought himself a brand new spade before returning to the hotel at 9. An hour later, he he exited his room with a full bin bag and disposed of its contents in a trash can outside. He then had some clothes, and subsequently his rented car, cleaned at the Mint Dry Cleaners and the Warehouse St. Luke's respectively. Jesse really believed that he had thought of everything. What he hadn't counted on were all of the electronic eyes that had been watching his every move.
Yup.
At 4:42 PM on December 5th, Jesse was again caught on CCTV disposing of even more rubbish in an Albert Park bin. On December 6th, he left his hotel for the final time at 8:43 PM. At 2:19 PM, Jesse tried to return, unaware that officers were already inside the lobby looking for him. He notices them at the front desk and makes his escape. But not before being seen himself. He was swiftly apprehended and brought in for questioning. During his interview, Jesse got to explain how his date with Grace unfolded.
Tell us about Grace.
So I was talking to Grace on Tinder. Yeah. We'd matched on Friday. I saw that we'd matched the next day on Saturday.
How did the evening pan out?
Yeah, pretty good.
How did the evening sort of come to an end?
There was a hug and a kiss on the cheek, and a thanks, nice meeting you. And then I said, let me know about tomorrow.
What he didn't realise was that his version of events didn't match up with the CCTV footage. And yet, despite having so much evidence stacked against him, there was still no concrete proof that Grace, who was still considered missing, was deceased.
Man, I understand that, Lazy. Yeah, it ain't no concrete proof, but we all pretty much know that she is deceased. But this dude have no idea of all this footage that these cameras have captured on him going to the store and driving here, leaving the hotel, coming back when you're on the elevator with Grace. Like, he don't know nothing about all that. Dude, there's no way you can wiggle your way up out of this. Especially when you start lying and we literally can prove that what you telling us is a damn lie, talking about you kissed her on the cheek and that was it. Man, boy, stop it. I'm telling you, man, I don't like this dude.
Following this interview, investigators obtained a search warrant for Jesse's City Life hotel room. Despite his attempts to scrub away the evidence of his actions, the forensic team discovered a substantial amount of Grace's blood hidden in the carpet. On December 7th, Jesse was brought back in for questioning. Realizing that investigators had likely found proof that Grace had died in his room, this time he changed his story. He now claimed that he and Grace had a 50 Shades style encounter. Though his memory of that night was hazy, he claimed that things got intense in the bedroom, and after the pair had finished, he went to take a shower, during which he fell asleep. He said that after waking up and returning to the bedroom, he found Grace unresponsive on the floor and attempted to revive her.
Time out. Did the Lazy just say that he went to go take a shower and he fell asleep? He fell asleep in the shower. Come on, bro. Come on, man. You gotta try to make up better lies than that, dude. Like, it's one thing if you said you was taking a bath and you know you got, because I have done that before. Fell asleep sitting in the tub. But to say you standing up in a damn shower and you fell asleep, boy, your ass then bust your head on the goddamn, on the floor. Like, what the fuck? He lying, man. And then it's terrible lies. Some of these murderers come up with the worst lies ever.
After formally being charged, investigators searched Jesse's phone. This turned up some truly horrifying evidence. Not only had Jesse taken photos of Grace before disposing of her, manipulating her body to get the shots that he wanted, but he had also used Google in the hours and days after she had perished, searching the phrases flesh-eating birds? Are there vultures in New Zealand? The hottest fire? Large bags near me? And, crucially, Waitakere Ranges, a mountainous area west of Auckland. Following his GPS signal, New Zealand authorities were able to trace all of Jesse's movements after the slaying. This, paired with his search history, led them to the Waitakere Ranges. There, buried in a hole in the bushland, they found Grace's body, still inside the suitcase. Experts determined that her COD was strangulation. According to prosecutors, such a method takes at least 5 to 10 minutes. According to Jesse's message history, he had told other matches on Tinder that he enjoyed feet, dominating, and strangulation. Initially, New Zealand courts imposed a suppression order on Jesse Kempson's name, prohibiting its publication. Several international media outlets opted to defy that court order and publish Jesse's name, running the risk of causing a mistrial. Thankfully, that didn't come to pass. Though Jesse's defense team stuck with the narrative that Grace perished after a night of consensual misadventure, effectively placing the blame largely on her, Jesse Kempson was ultimately found guilty of her slaying and sentenced to life with a minimum non-parole period of 17 years. Jesse reportedly
17? Man. Y'all already know how I feel about it. Let's just keep going. 17 fucking years? Are you kidding me? That's the minimum parole. His minimum should have been 100.
He yelled at the judge, "You have no reason to convict me. I can't wait for the Court of Appeal to overturn you, mate. You're full of shit." His appeal was later rejected. Jesse later received a further 11 years behind bars when 2 other women, including another British backpacker, came forward and reported that Jesse had SA'd them while holding a knife to their throats. Those 11 years are to be served concurrently with the 17 he had already been given. During Jesse's initial trial, Grace's father, David, was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It unfortunately claimed his life in November 2020.
Damn.
This case was brought to my attention after I watched a video made by Stay Awake, so I thought it would be good to give his channel a shout out. If you like true crime documentaries that are concise and well presented, and which feature plenty of audio and video evidence themselves, then check out Stay Awake's channel via the link in my description. It's some really great stuff and worth your time.
I might have checked that out, y'all. Stay awake and see if we can add it over here to our family of video channels that we watch, true crime channels that we watch. But like I said, man, especially to my sisters out there, man, god dang, man, just I know if you have a good time, you know, you go on a blind date with a guy and you know all that, but just wait, man. Don't go back to his goddamn house that first night. You don't even know if what he telling you is true as far as even his name. You don't even know if that's his real name or not that he telling you. You know what I'm saying? You don't know him enough yet, man. Because somebody and we never got the answer to it, but I just wonder, was that his intentions all along, or did he do what he had did to them other 2 women, was SA her, you know what I'm saying, and then she was either fighting back so hard or something till it got to the point of him murdering her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Anyway it goes, it's freaking tragic. And all I'm saying is stay safe out there, my sisters. Stay safe. The passenger.
This is Dr. Emmett Velton, a 69-year-old psychologist who lived and worked in Phoenix, Arizona, where he maintained a private practice at 2323 North Central Avenue. Described as a kind-hearted person who loved to help people, Emmett had assisted countless patients with his cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. He co-authored books on recovery and aging, taught at universities, and gave hundreds of public speeches across the US on how to handle the problems of everyday living. While openly gay, Emmett remained private about his relationships, seldom discussing his dating experiences with his friends and colleagues, and rarely revealing any details about his personal life. Those closest to him described Emmett as the ultimate listener, much more interested in hearing about other people than talking about himself. And it's that reserved aspect of his personality that's made this next case all the more difficult to solve. April 24th, 2011. Easter Sunday, and the last day of Dr. Emmett Belton's life.
Man.
At 8:10 AM, Emmett was captured on CCTV parking his Toyota RAV4 in a bay outside his apartment complex, described online as near 2020 North Central Avenue, the same block as his office. Both he and an unknown male passenger exited the vehicle and walked side by side into the building. Surveillance footage from inside the apartment's elevator showed both men talking to one another in an ostensibly relaxed manner. They entered Emmett's apartment together. 2 hours later, the unidentified passenger left the apartment alone, descended the stairwell, and crossed the parking lot in a very nonchalant fashion. He then stole Emmett's car and casually fled the scene. Emmett emerged from his apartment shortly thereafter, blood streaming from his head, with his pants partially lowered. He crawled towards the elevator before collapsing on the floor. A concerned neighbor discovered him and promptly contacted emergency services. Emmett was still alive and conscious when officers arrived, and he was able to provide some crucial details about his assailant. In his final moments, Emmett explained that he had picked the man up from CAS, a homeless shelter in downtown Phoenix that offers mental health and support services. After stepping into the apartment, the unknown passenger had bound Emmett's legs and furiously attacked him. It seems Emmett failed to tell the officers the man's name. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, but unfortunately, Emmett lost consciousness en route and was pronounced DOA. Although Emmett hadn't revealed his killer's identity, the authorities were confident that it was only a matter of time before they tracked him down. Not only did they have Emmett's final testimony to work with, but they also had 3 separate camera angles of the man entering the apartment complex. But after browsing through the footage, the detectives became disheartened. The man's face was too pixelated to make out, and frustratingly, he never squarely faced the lens. This unidentified passenger was characterized as a slender Caucasian male, neatly groomed, with an approximate height of 5'9". He carried
Okay, but time out, man. Shouldn't the police be able to know who this guy is, identify him by going to that CAS place, you know, the homeless shelter, and asking them who was staying here and who did Emmett come pick up or whatever, man? And I'm just also wondering, did he know this guy? Was this another case of people just meeting strangers and trusting them like that? Like he went and picked them up from the homeless shelter, but did you already know him? Or, I mean, what's going on? It's crazy. Like, this go back to the first one too, man. I'm wondering, like, did this guy intend to murder Emmett from the beginning, or stuff just happened? Like, even though that don't matter, it don't really change it. I just be wondering, like, do people be having evil intentions all along? And just be having this smile on their face, knowing that at the end of the day, they want to end your life. That's just a crazy and scary thing to think about, that people actually in the world have that mentality. Ugh.
a tan messenger bag and wore a neon green baseball cap, a white t-shirt, and dark trousers. As for physical evidence, a distinct bloody footprint was found inside Emmett's apartment, and items like door handles, an electrical cord, and an empty beer bottle were submitted for DNA and fingerprint testing. The results came back. No matches.
Damn.
Officers began scouring local homeless shelters in search of anyone matching the unidentified passenger's description. They showed the surveillance video to regulars at the shelters, but no one could identify the man in the footage. Despite having been picked up at CAS, it is a distinct possibility that the passenger wasn't a homeless person after all. A photo lineup was shown to the front desk attendant at Emmett's apartment complex, but they didn't recognize any of the faces shown to them. Emmett had no known history of hiring escorts or cruising the streets looking for hookups, and both scenarios seemed unlikely, though not impossible, at 8 AM. He also had no enemies to speak of. At least, none that he had ever mentioned. It's very possible that the passenger wasn't a local, said Phoenix detective Dominic Rostenberg. Other than the video, we don't have anything on him. Online sources are unclear as to whether Emmett's apartment and office were actually one and the same, so it's also worth considering whether the passenger was one of his private patients or someone he was helping in his spare time. As well as his identity being a mystery, the perp's motive is equally shrouded in uncertainty. The passenger hadn't stolen anything from the apartment, and Emmett's car was found 3 days after the incident, abandoned on 35th Avenue and Glendale, a rough area about 14 miles north of the apartment. Security guards had noticed it there the same morning that Emmett was slain, but didn't immediately report it. In the minds of investigators, whoever took Emmett's life did so for either personal reasons or for their own pleasure. Since Emmett passed out before he could tell officers the man's name or the purpose of their meeting, all we can do is watch over this eerie footage and speculate. The thing that strikes me, and many other viewers, is just how calmly the passenger leaves the scene of the murder.
Yeah.
Almost as if he felt justified in his actions. Almost as if he knew he was going to get away with it. We can only hope he doesn't. But with almost 13 years having now passed, with no concrete leads to speak of, the odds, unfortunately, seem stacked in his favour.
Damn, man, that's one of them unsolved mysteries that we probably would never freaking solve, man. Rest in peace to Emmett. And, excuse me, y'all. And it's just my gut feeling. Like, I feel it in my gut that Emmett knew that guy. Whoever this dude was, they knew each other. I just if you look at them on that elevator, how they was like chilling and stuff, I don't know, man. It's just something telling me that they knew each other. And like the lazy man said, the most striking thing is how the freaking murderer just was nonchalantly walking like he ain't had just murdered this dude. And y'all just be safe, man. That's all I can say, man. Just be safe, man. I'm going to say it 1,000,000 times, y'all. I'm going to always say it. Just try to be as safe as you can, because you never know out here, man. You never freaking know. Meta Valentine.
Meta Price Valentine, otherwise known as Mimi, was a 43-year-old mother from Fayetteville, North Carolina. A woman of faith, Meta was very involved with her local Deliverance and Praise Church of Worship on Owen Drive, where she worked as a secretary and choir director. On the evening of October 28, 2014, Meta attended a community watch meeting at that same church. Meta's pastor noted that she had been visibly fearful as of late. She would often ask fellow church members to walk her home, and would always mix up her route. It appeared as if she thought that someone was out to get her. That evening, however, Meta felt comfortable enough to make her way home alone. Surveillance cameras captured the chilling moment that she arrived back at her apartment complex on Sycamore Park. It was approximately 5:30 p.m. The footage shows Meta heading in the direction of her unit. She pauses briefly and appears to focus on a car parked outside her entrance. She then picks up her pace, rounds a corner onto the breezeway, and exits the camera's field of view. At which point, a man exits that same car and sprints after her. That's the last anyone saw of Meta Valentine, but not the last that anyone heard from her. 5 hours after this footage was captured, at 10:30 p.m, Meta spoke with her mother on the phone. According to her mother, Meta was speaking in riddles and very difficult to understand. The following day, Meta was scheduled to attend a Bible study class with family and friends. When she didn't show up, her loved ones attempted to reach her over the phone, but weren't able to get through to her. They immediately reported Meta missing. Officers arrived at Meta's apartment, but found no trace of her inside, nor was there any sign of a struggle within the property itself. From there, they turned their attention to the nearby surveillance cameras. After examining the footage, investigators were able to identify the man who chased after Meta, their prime suspect from the very beginning, Reginald McDowell. Meta's on and off boyfriend and the father of one of her children. In 1999, Reginald was arrested after he bound, gagged, and pistol whipped Meta and her partner. In 2001, he was sentenced to serve 15 years behind bars, but was released early in 2011. Upon his release, he and Meta rekindled their relationship, but separated again in October 2014. That was 2 weeks before she disappeared. In the initial stages of the investigation, Reginald cooperated with the police, but this cooperation came to an abrupt end when he suddenly cut all contact with them and went into hiding. It wasn't until 2018 that the authorities formally filed charges against Reginald in connection with Meta's disappearance. Warrants were issued for first-degree murder, but Reginald was nowhere to be found. For nigh on
I'm just sitting back shocked right now, y'all, that the fact that they let this dude get out of jail after he already had pistol whipped, well, it had been 11 years, pistol whipped Meta and her, I guess, current boyfriend at the time and all that. It's like, dude, he was possessed, not possessed, obsessed with this lady. And it's like, what I'm trying to say, man, long story short, story long, there were signs there for the police to know that this is not going to end well. You keep letting this man get out of jail, he going straight to go find her. And he ended up finding her, and the worst happened. The worst that we could possibly think of actually happened.
6 years, detectives have been searching for Reginald McDowell. He hasn't been in contact with his relatives in the Fayetteville area, including the son that he had with Meta.
And that's another thing I forgot about, man. This you got a child with this lady. Like, think about your child, bro, when you doing stuff like you just did. You just did that to his mama. Man, I just don't understand these people, y'all. Like, I can't make sense of it.
Believed he's currently hiding somewhere in New York City, where he reportedly has friends and family. Meta Valentine's body has never been found. "We're getting close to closure, which is a great thing," said Meta's son, Demario Valentine. "It's just hard, because I always wanted her there when I got married and had kids, and I'm hoping there's still a chance that happens. There's been quite a few cases where people pop up years later, so anything's possible." At the time of her vanishing, Meta had dyed blonde hair and was wearing coloured contact lenses, a blue t-shirt, grey sweatpants, and flip-flops. If still alive, she'd be 52 years old today.
Man, this one right here was a hard one from the lazy man because of these unsolved mysteries, man. And for as far as Meta go, man, I think we all can just go on agree reluctantly that she is deceased. You know what I'm saying? And that dude is the cause of it, and don't nobody know where he at. And I just I'm not putting all the blame, but I'm just saying, man, the police, man, the system failed us in that case, man, because dude, all the warning signs were there, all the red flags were there, like, and y'all still let him out a freaking again. And after all these years, he's still obsessed with this lady. And where is he at, man? Why y'all can't find him? I don't know, man. Stuff like that just get on my nerve. These freaking unsolved mysteries, y'all. I freaking hate them, man. The other one with the Emmett, another unsolved mystery that just like, what the fuck happened, bro? Like I said though, y'all, I truly in my heart, like, I just got a good feeling that Emmett did know that guy. But what's that guy? And he was so nonchalant with it, and how he just walked out like Lazy says, like he almost knew he was gonna get away with this shit, man. I don't know. That's tragic too, man. That was messed up. The first one, at least we got some closure on it, but still it's messed up like a mug, man. That's why I just be saying, my brothers and sisters, especially my sisters, y'all, hey man, don't trust these men out here until you actually know them for real. And some of y'all will tell me I still don't trust them after I know them. And hey, respect and 100, that's 100. I ain't gonna argue with you. But I'm just really being for real talking about on these blind dates and these Tinder apps and these other dating apps and stuff. You don't know who behind that goddamn phone texting you. You don't know who behind that computer screen. You know what I'm saying? They got a whole profile picture up that don't look nothing like them in real life. Yeah, man, this is... The lazy does it again, my brothers and sisters. I just hate those last two because I'm gonna be sitting right here wondering for the next couple hours, probably till I go to sleep, then wake up the next morning still thinking about what happened to Emmett and well, we know what happened to him, but who did that to Emmett and who did that to Meta Valentine? I don't know. Even though we know, pretty much we know that the damn baby daddy, the ex-boyfriend, he the one who murdered Meta, man, but he's nowhere to be found, and that's why it's like still no closure to it. And on top of that, the lazy man said that her body has never been found. Man, that's something weird about that case, y'all. It's something weird about that. Like, we ain't getting no evidence, no nothing from it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not even finna go down this rabbit hole with y'all. We've been here long enough, my brothers and sisters. It was so great to go back to the lazy man. And before y'all leave, just make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all comment, subscribe, do all that. And I'm gonna leave with this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.